Chocolate war. Ghana, Ivory Coast accused U.S. chocolate giants of not paying fair bonus to cocoa farmers. Peace, love, and like African people, it's the Goddess Think Night. This is the Blackest truth, where I take the not so easy topic of racism, white supremacy, break it down and make it easier for us to maneuver through. We are going to do some real Pan-African maneuvering right now and head to the continent, and that is to look at what cocoa farmers on the continent have to say about not being paid fairly. Ghana and Ivory Coast are the world-leading producers of cocoa, by Nahaja Havrod. This story is being brought to you by FaceToFaceAfrica.com. The story was written by Abu Mubarak on December 1st, 2020. I simply have swapped out some of the pictures to advertise a different product. Two of the world's largest producers of cocoa, Ghana and Ivory Coast, have accused U.S. confectionery giants of avoiding paying a bonus that will help improve the economic fortunes of poor farmers. The Coffee Cocoa Council, CCC, and the Ghana Coconut Board, COCOBOD, in a letter on Monday accused Hershey's and Mars, two of the world's top chocolate sellers, of not paying the living income differential, LID or LID, according to AFP. The letter also accused Fuji Oil Holdings Blomer, subsidiary, of aiding Hershey. The LID gives cocoa farmers a bonus of $400 per ton in addition to the market price and envisioned to cushion many farmers who live in poverty. The $400 a ton LID on cocoa sales for the 2020 and 2021 season was introduced by the West African nations last year. According to the CCC and the COCOBOD, a large purchase of cocoa on the U.S. futures market by Hershey recently clearly indicates the company's intention to avoid paying the living differential income. The producers added that they had been left with no choice but to cancel all sustainability programs with which your company is involved. The joint letter also denounced Hershey and Mars' breach of confidence in the scheme intended to help millions of African farmers. The scheme certified that the chocolate is ethically sourced, that is, production must be free of child labor and avoid environmental destruction. This allows companies to sell their chocolate at a higher price. In a statement to Reuters, producers of Hershey chocolate bars, Hershey Kisses and Kit Kat said it's fully participating in the LID. Our concern is that by cutting off industry sustainability programs, cocoa farmers will no longer receive the benefits provided by our programs, like the price premium for certified cocoa, the company said in a statement. It was unfortunate that the countries had decided to distribute a misleading statement this morning and jeopardize such critical programs that directly benefit cocoa farmers, AFP also quoted Hershey as saying. Ghana and Ivory Coast are the world-leading producers of cocoa. Jointly, the two West African nations produce 2/3 of the world's cocoa. However, cocoa farmers from the two countries continue to wallow in poverty, even though their produce sustained the economies of two nations. In 2018, Bloomberg reported that these farmers make only about 5.5% of a global supply chain worth more than $100 billion. This is even less than 15% of government's take as the valued added tax on the sale of chocolate products in Western countries where chocolate is most consumed. And again, that was brought to you by Face to Face Africa. When I saw this, I literally thought Africa is in every stitch of our society, of our lives. Could you all fathom that? Only about 5.5% of a global supply chain worth more than 800 million these farmers actually see. And, this reminds me a lot of when I was starting my clothing line. I remember when I was learning that a lot of the Ankara, a lot of the authentic wax that many of, continental Africans or first generation Africans will tell you they prefer their clothes to be. These fabrics were not created on the continent. It's this thing where we have the raw materials, but we don't have the machines and the infrastructure to put the raw material into form, to actually engineer it into something that we could produce and use. And that's kind of the biggest undercut of the continent. It possesses the raw materials, but the ability to take that cocoa on the continent and then transform it into a Kit Kat or a Hershey's bar or Snickers right there on the continent is what's currently lacking. The cocoa industry is just simply one industry. Diamonds is another industry. Coffee is another industry. Oil is another industry. Colson is another industry. There's so many industries that the raw materials are being taken directly from the continent, but the people are still living in poverty. That's why the system can function the way it does. It reminds me of that brilliant TED Talk with Bart-Williams, where she was going in talking about how she's from Sierra Leone and 5,000 of her currency equals one of a European currency, but yet they're the ones with the gold reserves. And I'll go ahead and end off this video with a little clip from that, and y'all can head over to the Facebook and watch the full video. Peace, family. I hope y'all are well. Be sure to go through the channel and check out all the other videos. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below, and share it on your platforms. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Good afternoon. I am Malens, and I come from the richest country in the world. It is located in the richest continent in the world, in the west of the richest continent. My country is called Sierra Leone. On the surface, we are blessed with infinite beauty and abundance of flora and fauna, producing the most exquisite harvest of coffee, cocoa, fruits, vegetables, and caoutchouc. You name it, we've got it. We also have diverse wildlife and vast marine resources, and waterfalls and rivers that run into the most beautiful beaches. The land is golden, literally, a true paradise. On a deeper level, we are blessed with the real treasures the kings and queens of this world desire. This was the largest alluvial diamond ever found. It weighs almost 1,000 carats, 969 to be precise. This beauty was found by an old lady in her backyard about 2 years ago, 125 carats. Of course, the West needs Africa's resources most desperately to power airplanes, cell phones, computers, and engines. And the gold and diamonds, of course, a status symbol to determine their powers by their core and to give value to their currencies. One thing that keeps me puzzled, despite having studied finance and economics at the world's best universities, the following question remains unanswered. Why is it that 5,000 units of our currency is worth 1 unit of your currency, where we are the ones with the actual gold reserves? It's quite evident that the aid is in fact not coming from the West to Africa, but from Africa to the Western world. The Western world depends on Africa in every possible way, since alternative resources are scarce out here. So how does the West ensure that the free aid keeps coming? By systematically destabilizing the wealthiest African nations and their systems, and all that backed by huge PR campaigns, leaving the entire world under the impression that Africa is poor and dying and merely surviving on the mercy of the West. Well done, Oxfam, UNICEF, Red Cross, Life Aid, and all the other organizations that continuously run multi-million-dollar advertisement campaigns depicting charity porn to sustain that image of Africa globally. While one hand gives under the flashing lights of cameras, the other takes in the shadows. It's super sweet of you to come with your colored paper in exchange for our golden diamonds, but instead, you should come empty-handed, filled with integrity and honor.